About to play turn 103 for PB15. I'm actually hoping to get the past few turn updates done tonight. Oh, yeah, hoping to get the past few turn updates done tonight. Now I've got a bit of free time. So let's see what's happening on this one. This is the turn that should turn research back on. 178 gold saved. Thoth planted a new city. He planted that last turn. Why did he plant it there? That's... Oh, is he planted for to get the cow? Yeah, if he's planted for the cow, then for me that means that this is his front city. Yeah, this is his front city in this area. I actually don't like this location too much. Because it's not easy to get a road, or is it? See, the reason I don't like that front city. First thing that shouts out is that the only road he will completely control is going to be round here, which is very long and very difficult to do. He needs to have like horse archers on this tile here. That's not a bad one really, because he can also get them straight into flat. So actually, it's not too bad. But slow movers, catapults. He needs to have his own dedicated catapult stack here and all this shit. Someone attacks down here, he can't. He can't immediately react because he can't have units to hold this area. So it's not the best one. I actually probably would have kept that city. I would have kept the Barb city. I would have kept that Barb city, and I would have put a new one up here for the cow, just to control that land. It's not an amazing city up here, but it's got a few tiles it can use. It controls the peaks, so it's got good vision. And there's no way in hell that you can attack it because of where the peaks are. So he'd actually have good cultural control over this area. And this city down here still got the pig, still got some nice tiles. So yeah, that's what I'd have done. I'll look at what else there is. Worker there. There's not much over here. 2 spears. People are starting to build up to defend against horse archers. I mean, this is one of the reasons why I don't feel so bad about not getting horseback riding so early. It's because people do build spears now, and they do defend against horse archers quite well, knowing to prioritise horseback riding to counter it if needed, and focusing more on spears rather than axes. Spears are a much more useful defensive unit. So yeah, I'm not quite happy with that. Spearman. Oh, I wish. It's like, because of where the river is, there's no way to do it. He's either farming that, because Novice cancels all of his work, as you can never tell. It's the correct thing to do. I'm not complaining. It's the right move. Because he cancels the work actions, you can't tell what he's actually doing with that tile until it's finished being improved. He should, if he's I can tell if he's pasturing it by looking up other pasture improvements, but he's only got the silk, actually. Yeah, he's only got the silk, so he could be doing that, but he could be putting the plantation on there, but he could also be farming it. It depends on what he's doing. I don't know. Go through that. Check demographics. Number 2, my soldiers is it's Sadoa's overtaking me. Everyone else, as you can see, is much lower. So I don't, and because I'm not near Sadoa, I don't worry about that. So I still don't need to concentrate on getting a horseback riding for horse archers. So I'm quite happy with that. So anyway, let's just have a look at what happens when I turn on tech. Now, I'm at minus 30 gold, but that's only because of the amount of wealth built in. I'm at 177 research per turn, and it takes me 3 turns to do aesthetics. If I just look at got the reset, I make 36 commerce per turn, which quarter of that, 25% is 9, so I make 45 beacons per turn because of the library. When I put the academy in here, I will gain an additional plus 50%, so that's an additional 18 beacons per turn. Let's just have a quick look at what that does, because I mean, I can just look at what can I build? Alphabet. What is the point? It gives me nothing. I can't build spies because there's no espionage. I don't want to build research because I already have much better beacon multipliers. So I want to build wealth and run the slider higher rather than build research and drop the slider, because the wealth and research builds are affected by hammer multipliers, production multipliers, not by beaker or gold multipliers. So yeah, so I don't want to build research, and I already have a trade routes with everybody that I need. When I plant this city, I'm going to get at least one new foreign trade route. I need to check Civ stats actually to see if Commodore settled a city. Since I last played the turn, and he hasn't, so I'll get one new. I'll get one new foreign trade route and one national. When I plant this new city over here, I'll get 2 national. So I could get at most +3 commerce per turn from that. Whereas I can get 18 beakers per turn from the academy. So even now, the academy's still the right choice. The golden age, no. I personally will never use an early golden age unless I have a very specific reason to do so, to trade civics, and because I need the production to get either the production to kill somebody or the commerce to get important techs right now. So in this case, I'm not going to settle because it's only +6 beakers per turn. Even at break even, I can probably get more than that in this city. So I build the academy. Hope I don't misclick. 195 and 2 turn aesthetics, because I think it's because I've already put beakers into the tech rather than anything else. So if I go back and check demographics now, that might scare people. 234. Rival worst is less than a quarter. And I'm 1 off top of MFG, so just moving labourers around will get that, and I'm still number 1 in crop yield. Sudo is the only person with more soldiers than me. I don't have high land area, but I'm about to plant 2 new cities. Population doesn't mean much because of the way it's calculated in this screen. The others don't mean anything really. So I'm actually yeah, doing quite well at the moment. Let's have a look at what else. What else have I got to do this turn? I need to plant this city. I actually need to think of a name before I do so. So I always sit there dumbstruck thinking, what should I do? What should I call this? A road. So I'll just do the other stuff that I need to do. Like road these tiles to get the settler into position. Next turn I can move it onto the city site to settle. And I'm going to move the axe. Now I could arguably have kept it in place, roaded next turn and moved it straight in, and it would have healed. That actually would have been the right choice. But I'm always terrified that somebody's going to have a guerrilla 2 unit move over the hills and kill the settler because it's undefended. So I'm playing that just a little bit safer now. The only guerrilla 2 units that I should be seeing right now are archers, which that axe should still beat at 4.5 strength. What have I got to do? So I'm going to build an archer in this city. 24. Hammers, so I get as much overflow as possible into this next turn I'll move back onto the ivory and make full 25 hammers, so I'll overflow out 24 hammers into a wonder. But that means that I can use it this turn. Use every this turn in here to build that. I'm actually I can also overflow a turn's worth of production here from ARAM collusion into Shredder Gompeya, which I think I can build it with aesthetics, isn't it? Yeah, oh no, requires meditation. Oh fuck, so I actually have to get meditation as well to build that. That's going to change the beeline I need to do slightly, but I think literature's still the... I'll talk about that later. I forgot I needed meditation. It's nothing major. Meditation's insanely cheap tech. It's 119. It's like nothing to me. It's not even a turn of break even. It's more about when I research it rather than if. Mine the hill. Keep on building wealth. Next turn, another... No, not next turn, turn after actually. So let's just move this green so I can just Okay, I'm just looking up games now for not so much games, but yeah, not so much games, but I'm looking up um, potential memes for use as names. Hmm. I think the best thing to I think something that I ought to comment on is I should something I should name this city is for the real Kiwi kid Dignitas's last top laner who he's just basically how to phrase this. I don't think benched is entirely the right word. Um, it's because he wasn't playing particularly well um, in the League of Legends North American League Championships. It was that he just fed so much. He just died. I think he had the highest deaths total of anyone in North America. Um, After in the summer split, in the spring split, he had that. He actually was playing really well, almost to the extent that he was one of. He was potentially the best top laner at the time, um, playing competitively in North America. Some people will disagree with that. However, he did he did beat Voyboy and Dyrus. So at the time in spring, yeah, I think you could say that fairly. Um, hmm. However, there's nothing really that I can do that. So I'm just gonna build a city here, rename it. Not so much to that, but hmm. I'm just gonna label it City 9 for the moment because there's not really many things that I can do. So actually, it's not too bad. I'm gonna work the coast because I kind of do want the commerce, and also I'm gonna chop that grass tile shortly. So it's either the coast or the sheep, and I don't want to. I don't want to use the sheep. I'm gonna chop the yeah, chop the forest into City 9 to show, and it can one turn the barracks this turn, so it will get culture in. hmm Mine and then cancel that. Mine though. So those two workers are carrying on because there's been no change with Thoth really. I'm actually going to move on to the hill. Okay, that's interesting. So Lewin has Axeman, Chariot, and Spear in a position to, and there's already a road on. There's a road on the Ivory. So was he already moving down to take that Barb City? Has the are they even are they at war? No, they're not at war. If he moves onto that hill tile, I'm not sure if his stuff if he lives. Okay, one moment. Okay, sorry for that sorry for that interruption there. Real life doesn't always stop. Yeah, finish those mine. Mine finishes next term and I grow. Yeah, micromanagement doesn't change here. Carry on building wealth. This is not the easiest city to consider. I'm actually considering moving straight off the sheep and onto the hill. It'll still grow. Next turn, the new pop can actually go onto the. It could go onto the forest, the plains forest, and I can always move off the cottage and onto the sheep for the additional hammer more than anything else, to get as much production out of from the spearman into Shredder payout when I get meditation. I mean, just looking now, I could focus on growing Say Baron again, but there's not many good tiles to drop it onto. I'd have to drop onto the coast tiles or this one grass forest, or use more scientists. There's nothing much here. If I want, I could always build a worker, but I don't want to build that with food. It would be better to like one pop slave that. I could do that in like 3 turns, whip it, and then overflow out. So, a few options there. But I do already have whip unhappiness in this city that I need to be aware of. Yes, the current whip unhappiness will wear off in 13 turns, but I can't like keep on whipping it. And Alkari is going to work this Plains Hill tile, but I could theoretically speaking grow and Alkari on coast a little bit. So grow it maybe to size 7 and give up the Plains Hill. There's a few options, and there's nothing that's really important right now. I'm not sure what to do really now, because I think rather than ARAM collusion just working whatever tiles that it had left, I now need to focus more on ARAM collusion working good tiles if it's going to build a wonder. The earliest I can get to meditation and aesthetics is 1-2 to do, or theoretically speaking, could I do it differently? I could theoretically speaking do it differently. I think I might get it in 3 turns if I went mysticism to meditation to aesthetics, stacking the overflow from 2 turns and then doing aesthetics. That's not so good because I can't build Statue of Zeus until the end, so 1 turn extra into Statue of Zeus is probably worth it. It also delays literature slightly because I also have to then go back and get polytheism, so I'm not so sure the route. I do need to think about that quite hard this turn. What am I going to do here? I'll move the workboat before I forget. What am I going to do? This is weird. I really need a road on the Plains Hill and the wheat, and I'm going to get one on the grass on next turn, so I've got the road into this new city. And it's how to do that, because what do I have to do with this worker? I'm focusing on growing, however, I don't know actually, it might be better off. So one of the options is just to mine a hill. I could mine a plains hill, or maybe I could mine the grass hill. What would the effect be on getting the granary done? Well, I can grow to size. I mean, borders will pop turn 113, getting the barracks this turn. That would mean that I could chop in this forest here, so that's 30 hammers. So I only need to get really to 30 hammers. Now there's 2 ways to do that. One is to grow and then slave. One is to just work a hill and get it done. If I were to mine a hill and work that, what would I get? I would get, if I was working a mined plains hill this turn, I would actually almost have finished the granary before that chop even arrived. So that's not necessarily even worth it. Working on my grass hill, I would have some food saved. Um, Working the plain sheep just because it's there, I would have grown, and I would have produced 30. I would have basically got enough hammers for the. Basically, the city would be size 2, and it would be ready to, and it would have the granary done. So that's not too bad. I wouldn't even without a slave. So that wouldn't be too bad actually. I want this basically the turn the borders pop. I want that wheat. I want to be improving that wheat with at least, with preferably with 2, and then I want it hooked in 2 turns. So 2 workers 1 turn, 3 workers the next. Borders in City 9 will pop 2 turns after that. I think it's 2 turns, or was it? 3 turns, I think, after 3 or 4 turns after that. So actually, there's plenty of time to have the workers to improve the wheat and then reposition to get the sheep done. Yeah, it's not a problem at all. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move to mine the grass. Oh, what can I do with it? Got the reset. I mean, this is the biggest question. What can I do with got the reset? I can't take the pig. In fact, I don't even have to work. Do I have any other tiles to work? I want to work. There's no tiles to work. I'd actually work at 8 back to mine this grass hill. I'd have to move off the sheep and onto a coast. Yeah, onto the coast, because that's the only other good 2 food tile I've got in the city to work. Yeah. I'm going to use worker to enter road the jungle. It might seem like it's a stupid thing to do, but I actually do need to have a road running all the way, like connecting all these front cities up. Um, Although someone could argue, what's the point? Because I've got no units to move between them. It's That'd be a reasonable point. But this is a size 9, soon to be size 10 city. I can whip out a fair chunk of units. I do have chariots that I'm considering moving back to defend this front rather than keeping a chariot in the city here. So there are units around. Yeah, and 2 chariots that I've got sitting in the middle of friggin' nowhere. These chariots I'm going to keep in my territory for the moment. I'm going to move them there and leave them. When City 10 is settled, when the City 10 is settled, I'm still going to leave them there, but once the borders pop onto the hill, I'm going to move them onto that hill, because then I can defend and I'll carry this city here, and they'll be able to get position for City 9, and get around. So actually I want the road. God almighty, this is not easy. 2 workers road next turn. I could arguably say screw this, and move 1 right onto the forest and use 1 to road. I'll be giving up trade routes if I do that for a single turn. I think, maybe for 2 turns, I don't know how the mechanics work. It doesn't make any difference. It's 2 or 4 commerce, it's nothing. It would get the forest chop done 1 turn earlier. I can get the sheep hooked 1 turn earlier. So I need to road that. Considering just moving work at 8 to mine. I am actually considering moving it to mine that hill and to delay got the reset slightly, because I don't have any good tiles to work. It's 14. I mean, it's 2 turns extra to grow. I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to mine. Road that next turn. He moves onto the desert hill next turn. He finishes. Then they both road these 2 tiles. Then they can move to do whatever. Road those tiles, and then both of these workers can irrigate this grassland. So wait, do it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so these 2 workers can actually road these 3 tiles here. Then it can irrigate that flat grassland. then they can move over to road the wheat and the plains hill very easily. Or I could even use one to road this tile. I can road to the wheat. The two workers that are over at City 10 can easily chop the farm, road towards this sheep, and potentially even road it. I wouldn't. That maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Or they could irrigate this grassland here, which might even make more sense after the chop. Probably do the irrigate to be irrigate. Oh no. No, because I need to mine a hill. Oh god, this is ugly. But yeah, I can get the roads in place. That's not a problem. I'm going to move work at 8 to mine. I'm going to move it to mine. For a turn, I'm actually going to move it to mine. Yeah. I'm going to give up the sheep and work the coast. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Spear can stay between these two cities. Carry on mining the forest hill. The archer's going to move to get in the city. Road that. What to do here? Not many. Not really got much there. Not so sure what the right move here is. I think it might actually be, because I'm going to put it onto wealth, because there's nothing else to really do there that's going to give me an immediate impact. The rest is like a fair while off. Do I need to grow this city to size 10? That's the question. Do I need to grow this city to size 10? I need 20 food. I need to produce 20 food to grow this city one size larger. That'd take a while. I'm going to leave the sheep where it is. It's not too big a deal. Leave the sheep where it is. And grow. I'm going to grow Say Baron again. I'm going to build wealth now to size 10. Working the good tiles. Grid size. Not size. Grid size 5. I'm going to give the sheep back at that point. Work 2 Plains Hill mines to build a worker. I'm going to use a cottage in Andal Carry. Not a cottage, a coastal tile, and save some food, because this city will grow to size 7 eventually. Not immediately, but it will end up growing to there, so I might as well do that. Work there. A moment. 4, 7, 8, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I'll do that, and I'll get the workers out. I do need a few more workers. I can cope with what I've got, but it would be better to get more. So I'm going to do that. So let's just go through the cities quickly, because that's most of the, just to make sure this is right. I've delayed the market by doing this though. Oh, that's not nice. It's not a good choice. I really need to get that. I really have to get iron working as fast as I can. Here, I really do need to do that. Otherwise, I'm going to end up crippling. Got the reset too much. Yeah, it's the best I can do on this city. Just keep on doing that. Again, I've got a banana to hook up. Do want to do that as well, but happy cap's actually an issue, so that's not too big a deal really. Um, Actually, what's the best way to do this? I need 41. This actually library looks like it's going to be a 3-turn build. I'm actually going to I'm going to be really bad. I'm going to get it to 89 out of 90. I'm then going to finish the library with max overflow, working every single tile I can. Don't care about well, I'll actually stop working this farm is what I'll do to work this plain style. The new pop will work the plain style. I'll get to 89 out of 90, overflow as much as I can, then build wealth to save the overflow. The moment I finish literature, I'm going to dump all that overflow into the Great Library and then just build it as fast as I can. That might be the best I can do. 17 hammers production per turn. I think I'm going to do that. So I'm happy with how that's going. Again, Archer finishing next turn, 25 hammers per turn. I could go a food deficient, but I won't. Then dump the overflow into Statue of Zeus. Carry on building wealth. Overflow from the Spearman into Shredding on Payer, which depends on meditation. Grid size 5, work the Plains Hill, and another Plains Hill, give the sheep back. Build worker for 3 turns, slave it, dump the overflow into a worker. Potentially regrow, potentially build the second worker at size 4. I don't care. I'll think about it. Because I'll probably regrow in 1 turn, I'll actually be quite happy to regrow. Next turn, work the hill tile, keep on building wealth. Once I get horseback riding, build the stables. Or build a sword. A sword isn't too bad. Or build into a sword. I need to finish the spearman at some point though. Potentially, I'd prefer to finish the spearman and then overflow into the stables actually. But that's one option. Don't really care. Grow on the coastal tiles. Fish will be hooked up shortly. Use that. Grow to size 10. Build mausoleum. Whatever. Keep on building wealth. Work the plains hill for when I can to build wealth. If not, use the coast and grow. There's nothing to build here. I'd build a sword. I'd actually build a sword. I like swords. Not many people do like swords, but I like them as defensive units because they're high strength, get the terrain bonuses. They're cheaper than longbows and much easier tech to get. I've not even got mysticism. I'm nowhere near getting longbows at feudalism, but swords do a similar job. And they're weak to axes, which if someone attacks with a stack of axes, he's going to die to the horse archer stacks that I'm going to be building. So I'm not going to be building a lot of swords, just a couple to defend cities, and then group and use as stack defenders. But if someone invades with axe, I mean, axes are too easy to kill if people invade with them. So swords are decent defenders until people get proper size stacks with catapults and everything in. So I'm happy with that. Build the barracks, nothing special. Overflow into the granary, build that. The granary will get finished when the borders pop. I need to do it this way. Really, it's the best way to get this city growing. Oh, actually, there's a good argument to say that what I should do now, I'm roading this tile. Next turn, I'll road. I mean, if I'd have roaded to a desert hill, this might have been slightly different, but I could have irrigate that grassland tile. The only problem is that you actually are severely limited on how you get the hammers for the granary, and this way I do get it done. This city's not going to do much, to be totally honest. Even with the wheat, giving up the sheep, with the wheat it makes +5, +6 with 1 grassland, 7 and 8 with 2 grasslands. And it works 1, well that's actually an overlap city, but 1, 2, 3, and then it needs 9 to do these, and it can't even reach that. So it would need the sheep to work up all of the grass and Great Plains mines. So yeah, it can't do as much. I mean, what was it? 12, 13, 14. It can make 20 hammers per turn, but it's not bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Size 9. It's not too bad, but it doesn't do anything after size 9. Yeah, you need biology to get a few extra, to get a few more pop points to work desert mines, which don't do as much. You need railroads. This is a city that needs technology to be good. It's not good until the late game. Unfortunately, that's what I'm stuck using. It's going to end up being a hammer city. There's nothing else you can do with it really. It doesn't have the food to run specialists. Don't have representation. It's not that useful. Could use windmills if I were using serfdom. Serfdom would be perfectly legit to use, especially because of how many hills I've got. But what that really does is it gives you food on the hill tile, so you get more population. So you actually need to produce the food to grow that population and then work those tiles. Yes, you'll get some commerce with it. But it's not that much commerce really. I don't like going down that route. I don't think it's that effective. Really, it's just that you also don't need to build the workers, but I need to build the workers anyway. Feudalism is just too far away for me to say that. I also need machinery, so windmills aren't going to happen. This city's going to grow to size 9, and work mines, and then build wealth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so we can grow to size 10 or whatever. It's fine. But build the barracks, and that's it. So those are all the cities for this turn. It's not amazing. Not amazing at all. I have enough gold according to this for 11 turns worth of research, because I'm building wealth in 4 different cities now, because I'm waiting to build something useful. That's one of the reasons my GNP looks so good. I mean, 215 now because I was making 25 gold per turn from wealth in Reijadonga. So that's really double counting. How much is it double counting now? So my 12, 14, 21, 30. Not 30, I can't count. 34. Yeah, 34. So really, you could argue, but take off 34 from that, I'm making 54 manufacturing a turn, so I'm actually not doing that well. That's below average. If you want to consider my GMP that high, you'd be double counting. So really, my GMP is that high, but my manufacturing is much lower than average, really. But crop yield's good still, so I'm not that bothered. And I'll stop building the wealth shortly. But because I'm going to be building wealth until I've got meditation now, in pretty much all of these cities, the current route is I'm going to get aesthetics. That's pretty much mandatory, right? I do aesthetics. I think I can 1 turn mysticism, and I could then 1 turn horseback riding. So I can 1 turn do mysticism anyway. I will get so much overflow that I could do either horseback riding or ironworking in a single turn if I needed to. So that's better than saying I'll do aesthetics and then I'll do horseback riding, because I have greater flexibility. I might not need horseback riding, so I do mysticism second. That's the right choice. Now, literature needs polytheism, so I can then either 1 turn polytheism after that, and get the overflow going a lot, and I can then 1 turn literature, or I could go 1 turn meditation, then polytheism, and then literature, or say screw it, I don't need literature that early, I can wait a little bit. I can go mysticism, meditation, horseback riding, then polytheism and literature. If the earlier rate of horseback riding, the sooner I'll stop building wealth, the less amount of turns I can afford 100% research. But I've got at least 3. In my opinion, I've got at least 3, like 1, 2 on aesthetics, 3 on mysticism. I actually think I'm going to be building a decent amount of wealth for the next few turns, to the extent that I'm not actually worried now about getting all the way to literature and horseback riding and ironworking. I was a little bit unsure because of the new cities, but I'm not really that concerned anymore. So yeah, I think I'll do this. I'll spend 3 turns, get to mysticism, and then reconsider. But I might go meditation as third tech, simply because that'll enable me to get Shredder on Payer started earlier. I don't want literature for the heroic epic started as soon as I can because I'm already building Statue of Zeus. I want it early so that I can start building the Great Library, so that I can, yeah. So the sooner I can get that done, the better. So really, I am in a rush to literature, but just now I know I've got to get meditation as competing objectives. I actually value the Great Library more as a wonder, but because of the culture, I want Shredder Gone Payer started. So it's only going to take me an additional turn to get meditation. It'll delay Great Library by a turn, but if I were to rush to get literature, it would take me out. I would be delaying 2 turns on Shredder Gone Payer. Because of that, I actually think I'll go for meditation as the third tech, then polytheism, and then literature. I will actually, doing 100% research on all of these techs, I could easily go turn 103 and 104 I finish aesthetics, then it'll be 5 mysticism, 6 meditation, 7 polytheism, 8 I'll do literature, that's not a problem, and then it would be 9 and 10 I could do horseback riding and ironworking. In fact, I might even be going so fast now. I mean, now I'm fairly sure music would actually be a 4-turn tech with literature. So I actually think that theoretically speaking, I could get all the way to music before I ran out of gold if I didn't do any other tech. I won't do that. Almost certainly will not do that. Yeah, I'm going to go for Shredder on Payer because that's important, and then I'm going to go for the Great Library. So I'm going to go meditation first, then polytheism, then literature, then horseback riding. At that point, I've built wealth for so long in some cities that I want to stop and start building important like horse archers because I'm delaying horse archers then, and I do want to build some for defensive purposes, just if people get frisky. But yeah. Anyway, I'm fairly happy with how things are turning out. 196 pickers per turn. That's not bad. I think, just thinking 20 turns ago, I must have been making very little. I'm just wondering how. I mean, I was making 33 gold per turn, turn 95. Um, so if you go back 20 turns, I think I must have been just about finishing calendar. So in 20 turns, I've not really got much tech. I've got what, masonry in that time, and currency, but I'm now going to burn through enough. So actually, no, I'm quite happy with this position. Let's take a few screenshots, mainly of the standoff. Oh, problem with dual screens. You have to have the Civ window open in the right one. Okay, that's 2. There's not much else really that's important to do right now. Trade routes are so important to tech in this game that it's because it's just free commerce. It's I think that's actually the main reason why I've got to this position. And being able to research for so long, to have so much gold saved and to have such a good tech rate is actually purely because of the additional, what is it, 9? So that's 18, 17. So I make an extra 17 commerce per turn just from trade routes, which has built up the gold a little bit and then given me a bit more BPT. So it's probably that's the main reason that I think this is going so well. It's not even me. That's other people's actions. Okay, so yeah, and demographics. First now and everything. Second, yeah, quite decent. And one last one. Lewin is second in world population. Someone asked what would happen if I basically beat up Novice and took his wonders, and no one conceded. And I said the straightforward answer was that I just basically carry on killing people, because no one else could really afford to swallow as much land or be able to swallow as much land as I am. Because Lewin, he has the population, but he's going broke. I mean, he does have 10 cities. He's got one more city than me. So yeah, I'm going to settle another one shortly. Um, he doesn't have alphabet. He doesn't. He went for code of laws. He's got a religion. So be it. I can probably take novices. He doesn't have an awful lot of cottages down. He's not making a lot of commerce. He's not teching that well. Yes, he can probably build units. He might even have horseback riding. I'm not sure if he does though. But he's just going to be a tech laggard compared to where I can be shortly. So it's like, yeah, he can try and kill someone, but who? The only person he could realistically try and attack is Pindigator, and he can't. I don't think he's. And if he does that, he leaves himself open to Sadoa. No, and I don't think that board is particularly fun for anybody. Sadoa is the most dangerous person because he probably could actually kill Pindigator and take a good chunk of his cities and hold him. He's got the power. Lewin's actually got to get that. Don't even know what Sadoa's got. If Sadoa's got a stack of horse archers, which would make sense considering his power, I don't see him building generic junk. He probably could easily take somebody, but I don't know if he can still research. Like I think Sadoa's more dangerous than Lewin, even though he's got fewer cities. He's only got 8 cities, but I think he's in a better position potentially to kill people via war. Again, Novice, I think I can take him out. I mean, that's the given. It's like, if I can kill him then, or take the trio of cities, what happens? Well, if he loses a 2 up here, so he loses 5, so he's basically going to be a rump state. If I take Miller and bomb it, then he might not lose the other 2, but he should lose the top 2. If he loses those 2, then yes, then he's gone. Thoth could stop me, would attack during the war. That'd be the best time he can do it. But his limit now is he's got no population. He's up against the happy cap. He doesn't have the happiness resources to keep on growing, so he's severely limited. He has to spend because on opening up his happy cap. So not horseback riding, monarchy for hereditary rule, potentially calendar and ironworking to get the dyes hooked up, and again monarchy for the wines. He's got silks as well, so it's like he's got to go for that. He's not really going for vortex. I've not seen any horse archers from him, so he's got to spend time building up his economy, not waging war, not building war. So Commodore, who cares? He wins this game. He can only win this game if a lot of people get stalemated, stuck in wars, and he can then get a city here, a city there, and build up. That's how he wins this game. If I beat Novice, basically, Commodore's not going to win this. He's actually at risk of me using him as another vassal, effectively taking over his land and using that to win. I mean, same with Pindicator to attack and take his land. These 2 people aren't really a threat to win. I mean, so there's not too many people. So it's like, given the premise that I take over Novice, it's like I actually just no one's going to be in a stronger position as me. They would have to try and dogpile me. Well, they can't tech trade. I actually can still tech reasonably well. I should have a good tech edge in 10 turns time that other people are going to be trying to overcome. So even after a war, when I would potentially pick up a shrine and a holy city and pyramids and henge, so all my borders will keep on pop. Will be decent. Henge isn't that important, but borders will pop. I don't know where he's built his other wonders. Like Oracle doesn't matter at all, but the Great Wall, don't know where he's built that. It's like I can pick these up. It's like I'm not going to fall behind economically. It's not going to happen. I'll pick up additional happiness from the silks. Silver, I've already got that. Doesn't matter. Yeah, just from the silks. So there's a bit of extra happiness there. I'll basically have I then focus on taking out Vindicator, and I just have one long band all the way around, and I've only got to focus on two fronts then, like a long, really long front with Thoth, and then a little bit with Commodore on one side, and then whatever's left over here, whoever I border. And it's like, I have actually much easier defences then. And I'll have more land, I will tech faster, I will be able to build more. At that point, it is literally, at that point, I just keep on killing people, take cities, increase my land to defensible points, to choke points, so I'll try and guard, say, I'll cut it off here, or I'll hold a city in this area. I cut it off here, so people can only attack through choke points, and that makes it easier to defend. I mean, over here with Sadoa, it's much more iffy where I'd defend. Like, I'd probably... I don't know what I'd try and do. Is like just defend over... I would actually try and push really hard and get as far as here, and then take out... even attack Sadoa to get to that point, and just hold it via these lines of lakes. That's what I'd try and do, and just push hard. At that point, I'm close to 50% of the land area. People will concede. If not, it's not trivial, but it's not difficult to carry on fighting. It's not strategically difficult to do that. It's all tactics, because it's just focus on getting a small tech edge on military units, and focus on beating people up. So that's what I'll do. Anyway, that's the turn. I hope everyone has a good evening. I'll try and do the reports tonight. Have a good weekend.